What is up guys, Physicism here, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm giving you my thoughts on the Descent of Dragons cards coming to Hearthstone on Tuesday. I've gone through all of the class cards now in the previous two videos, so if you haven't seen those, go back and watch them first. Or if you just care about the neutral cards, of course, you can just watch this one. So right now I'm going through all of the neutral minions. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, 1 mana 2/2 Blazing Battle Mage, cool. Neutral, 1 mana 2/2, no tribe, but I think this card will see play. Maybe in like a Zoo Warlock or some other sort of aggressive deck which doesn't have a strong 1 mana minion on its own from its class. Even if it does, maybe you put this in anyway. It's just a solid little card. 1 mana 2/2 is quite good stats, so I see this card being played maybe in 1 or 2 different decks. Maybe not tier 1 decks because it's not quite specific enough for tier 1, but it's good. Probably 4-star card. Depth Charge. 1 mana 0/5 at the start of your turn, deal 5 damage to all minions. Sort of like a budget Doomsayer. I'm not sure what class would run this. Maybe in like a Freeze Mage or a control deck. I don't know. If you play this on turn 2, probably they can't kill it and then they don't want to play anything because at the start of your turn, all of their stuff will die. But I don't know of any control decks like Control Warrior, Control Priest, which would want to run this. They sort of want to run their own more specific stuff for clearing minions. So probably won't see play in my opinion. 1 mana 1/2 Hot Air Balloon Mech at the start of your turn, gain +1 health. Pretty cool. Pretty good option for a mech deck. 1 mana 1/2 is fine stats. And you can magnetize it and every turn it will get more health. So probably this will keep itself alive. The one attack is not impactful after the first 1 or 2 turns, but if you're able to magnetize it, then it will be impactful. So you can keep it alive and it keeps itself alive. I think it's quite good in a mech deck. 2 mana 2/3 Dragon Breeder, Battlecry. Choose a friendly dragon, add a copy of it to your hand. You probably want to play this immediately after playing a specific dragon that you want multiple copies of. I don't know, I don't think this is good enough for most dragon decks because it's not a dragon itself. I'm not sure. How would this work in Paladin if you buffed a dragon and then played it? I don't know if this guy would keep the buff. I'm not sure. Maybe if it kept the buff, you would play this in Dragon Paladin, but probably not quite good enough for most dragon decks. 2 mana 2/1 Evasive Chimera with Poisonous, can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. It's a beast, which helps quite a bit actually. Without the beast tag, it probably wouldn't see any play at all because it's not specific enough. But with Beast, maybe you would find room for this in like a Beast Hunter if you're looking for a 2 mana. If it's like a very aggressive Beast Hunter, you're looking for a Beast that costs 2 mana, maybe you throw in this guy over another 2 mana Beast. The evasive thing can be targeted by spells or hero powers, might prove to be quite useful. They have to actually trade into it with a weapon or a minion. They can't ping it, they can't deal damage to it, so you're probably getting use of the Poisonous. Grizzled Wizard, 2 mana 3/2 Battlecry, swap hero powers with your opponent until your next turn. If you're versing a quest Warlock and they're about to complete their quest, like let's say they've got 19 out of 20 cards drawn, you play this, you swap hero powers so they get your hero power, and you get the Warlock hero power, and then next turn they upgrade your hero power. At the start of your next turn you get that hero power, which is kind of cool, but nobody will play this card. Parachute Brigand, 2 mana 2/2 Pirate. After you play a pirate, summon this from your hand. So basically you get this for free. Maybe you play this in that Galakrond Pirate Warrior. There seems to be a fair bit of card draw in that Pirate Warrior, which might make this work. But without lots of card draw, you're kind of emptying your hand really quickly and you're going to run out of resources pretty fast. So maybe it finds a home in Pirate Warrior or Pirate Rogue, maybe. Very aggressive card, but you will empty your resources very quickly playing this one. 2 mana 2/2 Tasty Flyfish. Death Rattle, give a dragon in your hand +2/+2, and it's a Murloc. So, what? Is there some sort of a hybrid dragon Murloc deck? I don't think so. We didn't see any in the class cards, so unless there's quite a lot of neutral cards like that, I think there might be one more. This card probably won't see play. 2 mana 2/3 Transmogrifier. After you draw a card, transform it into a random legendary minion. You want to play this and then play a card which draws a card, but why would you want a random legendary minion instead of a card that you have in your deck? Why wouldn't you just put in the legendary minion that you want? This card makes no sense. I don't see anyone playing it. 2 mana 3/2, 1 Rust Purifier. Transform all neutral cards in your deck into random cards from your class. So you could play this in a Paladin, which wants to use those 2 Paladin cards, which benefit from only having Paladin cards in your deck. Maybe you play this, like let's say you don't have many neutral cards, but the neutral cards that you have are like tech cards, like cards like Big Game Hunter and the Black Knight and stuff like that, secret destroying cards. You can put in some tech cards, and then if you're not against a deck that uses cards that you want to tech against, you can transform those into random cards from your class. I don't know. It's very niche, probably won't see much play, if any at all. Bad Luck Albatross, 3 mana 4/3 Beast, Death Rattle Shaman 2/1/1 Albatross into your opponent's deck. So this screws with Highlanders decks, but there aren't even that many right now, and I imagine not too many people want to be playing Highlander decks in the next expansion. But even so, it's decent. It's quite aggressive stats. 3 mana 4/3 is an aggressive stat line. It's a beast, which could help in like an aggressive hunter deck. It screws with your opponent's deck quite a bit, because let's say they draw a 1/1 Albatross. I'm guessing it's a 1 mana 1/1, maybe it's a beast. They don't want to draw a 1 mana 1/1. They want to draw the cards in their deck. So it screws with their deck. It's got good stats. I think this card is like okay. Not the best. Might find room in a Beast Hunter. Probably not, but it has some chance. 3 mana 3/4 Blowtorch Saboteur. Battlecry, your opponent's next hero power costs 3. Garbage. Absolutely garbage. 3 mana 3/4 is fine stats, of course, but no one's going to play this over other cards. Your opponent's next hero power costs 3. I think this should say your opponent's next hero power costs 5 or 6 or something. It should be like really hard for your opponent to play a hero power. Otherwise, why would you play this? They pay 1 extra mana. They could play a deck that doesn't even use hero powers. No tribe on it. It's really bad. 3 mana 3/4 Dreadraven has +3 attack for each other Dreadraven you control. Somehow you gotta get a heap of Dreadravens. How are you gonna do that? Togwaggle Scheme, maybe. Somehow Faceless Manipulator, copying. You need to create lots of copies of Dreadravens. And then I think if you have 4 on the board, each of them has 12 attack. So you do 48 damage. How much do they have if you have 3? I think if you have 3, then they each have 9 attack. So you can attack for 27. Okay, let's say the simplest case you have 2 Dreadravens. Then there are 6 4s. The 4 health is kind of not quite durable enough. I think it'd be much better if it was like 3 mana 2 5s with +3 attack, because then they become 5 5s instead of 6 4s, so they can stick around for longer. It does help that they're a beast. I don't know, it's too weird. Firehawk, 3 mana 1/3, gain +1 attack for each card in your opponent's hand. On 3 mana, your opponent probably has 4 or 5 cards in their hand. So this is like a 3 mana, I'm gonna say 5/3 on average. 4/3, 5/3, sometimes maybe a 6/3. If you're up against like a handlock, you're pretty happy to play this. It is an elemental, which is interesting. Like, do you play this in Elemental Mage? It's the only place which could have this card. It's quite strong. Like a 3 mana 5/3 is quite big. 3 mana 3/3 Gobbo Glide Tech. Battlecry, if you control a mech, gain +1/+1 with Rush. 3 mana 4/4 with Rush is very good. Play this in a mech deck, kill like your opponent's 3/4, and this survives and your mech can go face. It's quite good. This could probably see a home in quite a few mech decks, like Mech Hunter. 3 mana 3/4 Elemental, your minions can't be frozen. 3 mana 3/4 Elemental, but does Elemental really matter that much? Probably won't see any play, I don't think. I don't think you'd play this in Elemental Mage. Your minions not being frozen doesn't really matter. In most Hearthstone games, your opponent doesn't freeze your minions. I think there is a minion which has like a bigger body than it should for the mana cost, which freezes all of your minions, and then you get that and you don't freeze your minions. But I don't think it's worth running this one and that one just for that. Probably won't see play. 3 mana 3/3 Scale Rider. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, deal 2 damage. Really, 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 really good card. Play this in every single dragon deck. It's like SI7 Agent, but you don't have to combo it out. You just play it on 3 mana. It's like the Phoenix, the Elemental Phoenix 4 mana 3/3 thing, which dealt 2 damage, but it's 3 mana instead, and you play it in Dragon deck. Very strong card. 4 mana 2/2 Devoted Mechanic with Rush. Battlecry, invoke Galakrond. Okay, so this is the first neutral card that we've seen which invokes Galakrond. It's kind of weak, right? what deck would you want to play this in? This card is too expensive. It should cost 3 mana. Quite unfortunate. I'm hoping that there's some other Invoke neutrals which are playable. Oh yeah, Dragon Maw Poacher. 4 mana 4/4, which is almost okay by itself. If your opponent controls a dragon, probably they will at some stage in the game. There are so many dragons in this expansion that I think in this expansion, Dragon Maw Poacher will be good. As soon as the new expansion comes out in like April next year or whatever, and everyone's excited about the new cards and playing other stuff that aren't dragon decks, this card will be completely unplayable. Especially at the start of this expansion when everyone's testing, oh yay, fun dragon decks, this guy will just crush everything. If your opponent controls a dragon, it's an 8/8 with Rush for 4 mana. So good. Evasive Feywing, 4 mana 5/4, can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Dragon. Pretty strong dragon for 4 mana, to be honest. If you're looking for a 4 mana dragon, you don't have one in your class, this is probably one of the best dragons you can find. Frizz Kindle Roost, 4 mana 5/4, Battlecry, reduce the cost of dragons in your deck by 2. So good. So good. 4 mana 5/4 is perfectly fine stat line, quite aggressive. Insane Battlecry. I'm going to play this in every single dragon deck. Unless I'm only running a few dragons. But if you're running a dragon deck, you want to run probably between 10 and 15 dragons at least, maybe more, which makes this Battlecry insanely strong. I love it. Here we've got Buckbeak from Harry Potter, 4 mana 2/6, Rush with Taunt, Beast. Do you want to play this? Does anyone want to play this? 4 mana 2/6 in a Beast deck, Rush and Taunt. It's like sort of all over the place. You're rushing to clear a small minion, you got Taunt to defend another minion or to defend yourself, but do you want to be doing that in a Beast deck? Beast deck feels like it wants to be aggressive. I don't think it'll see play, sorry Buckbeak. 4 mana 4/2, Horde Pillager, Pirate. Battlecry, equip one of your destroyed weapons, very, very strong. Like I said, that 4 mana 4/2, which equips a True Silver Champion, was very good. This guy is neutral, you can play it in any deck, so probably you're going to find a place in Pirate Rogue or Pirate Warrior. Okay, let's think about Pirate Warrior. You've got that 2 mana weapon which invokes Galakron, so maybe you'll get that, which you're not too happy about. But also you could get the Claw, Galakron's Claw. So you could get like basically an Arcanite Reaper for 4 mana plus a 4/2 body, which is busted. But there, yeah, because you're playing this in Warrior, you have some chance of getting the 1/2 thing. And you don't get the Battlecry of it either. But you're playing Pirate Warrior, so probably you're playing other weapons as well. Aggressive weapons. Maybe you're playing a 4 mana one that shuffles bombs into your deck. I don't know. I think this finds a place in an Aggressive Warrior. And maybe in Pirate Rogue as well. I'm not sure what weapons you'd play in Rogue, in Pirate Rogue. Oh, you could play the, god damn it, what is it called? Wagglepick. So you could get another copy of Wagglepick. And I think you would play Wagglepick in an aggressive Pirate Rogue. So this guy could fit into a couple of decks. I think he will see play. 4 mana 3/3, Troll Batrider. Battlecry, deal 3 damage to a random enemy minion. Decent. It's not a beast or anything. Probably good in Arena. I don't think it'll see play in Ranked. 4 mana 2/5, Wing Commander. Has +2 attack for each dragon in your hand. Interesting card. So let's say you have 1 dragon in your hand, which is going to happen a lot. It's a Chillwind Yeti. 2 dragons, it's a 6/5 for 4 mana. Interestingly, if you draw a dragon, its attack goes up. If you play a dragon, its attack goes down. So the attack will change. Also, you're giving information to your opponent about how many, they know exactly how many dragons you have in your hand. And that could be quite meaningful, especially in the late game. If they're like, oh, has he played this dragon? Does he run this dragon in his deck and they haven't seen it yet? You are giving information to your opponent. But just in terms of its stats, it's probably at least a 4 mana 6/5. However, I guess you can't run too many non-dragon cards, non-dragon minions in a dragon deck. Like there's plenty of minions that benefit from having dragons in your hand, which are not dragons themselves. So I'm not sure if you find room for it, but its power level is quite good, I think. 4 mana 3/9, Zuldrak Ritualist, Taunt. Battlecry, summon 3 random 1-cost minions for your opponent. Pretty interesting. It's often been quite dangerous to summon minions for your opponent. None of those cards have really worked out, except for Leroy Jenkins, of course. But it's a huge taunt, and you could play this in like a deck that cares about having lots of minions on the board. So things like Sea Giant in like a Zoo deck, Maybe this goes in a zoo deck with Sea Giant, and like you probably already have minions on the board, so you can clear up these little 1-cost minions. And you got a 4-mana 3/9 with Taunt. That's a huge body. Maybe you play this in a control deck because probably you have the tools to clear up these 1-cost minions with like some AoE or something. Not too sure. I feel like it might see some play, but not in too many decks. Possibly in Zoo, Warlock, or in Shaman with Mogu Flesh Shaper. Big ol' Whelp, 5-mana 5/5 dragon, draw a card. Very, very, very strong card, I think. Quite similar to Azure Drake, which has been completely removed from standard. It's only in wild now. This doesn't have spell damage +1. Instead, it has +1 attack and health over the Azure Drake and lets you draw a card. It's fantastic. It doesn't even have the condition of needing a dragon in your hand. Really, really, really strong card. Will go in basically every dragon deck. 5-mana 0/3 Battle Cry. Secretly discover a dragon to hatch into. Death Rattle. Hatch! A lot of dragons have battle cries, and you don't get the battle cry of the dragon when it hatches from the Death Rattle. I don't think this card is good. I think you'd much rather just play the dragon that you want. 5-mana 3/5 dragon, Cobalt Spellkin. Battle Cry, add 2 1-cost spells from your class to your hand. Probably we'll see play in Mage because they love little 1-cost spells. Probably we'll see play in Rogue because they love little cheap spells. Aside from that, probably not good enough in most dragon decks because the body's quite weak. But I guess you gotta look at the 1-cost spells from the specific class that you're thinking about. Probably won't see play in many different decks. 5-mana 5/4 Faceless Corruptor. Rush. Battlecry, transform one of your minions into a copy of this. Probably we'll see play in Lackey tempo decks, like Rogue. Because you can play a Lackey on turn 6 and then transform the Lackey into a 5/4 with Rush. Plus you get this 5/4 with Rush. It's a lot of stats rushing in. Very high tempo card. Okay, Kobold Sticky Finger, 5-mana 4/4 Pirate. Battlecry, steal your opponent's weapon. I think in the meta that we're in right now, I think this card is pretty unplayable. But I think when you're in a meta where 5 out of the 9 classes are playing Galakron decks, and they're always trying to get this 5/2 weapon, I think Kobold Sticky Finger is pretty good. Like, obviously he's only good in a world where there's lots of weapons, but stealing your opponent's weapon is so much better than destroying it. So I think quite often you'll be able to steal this Galakron's Claw. I mean, usually it'll be a 5/1 at that point, but I don't know. It does have a pirate as well, which helps a little bit. Maybe it finds a home in Pirate Rogue or Pirate Warrior. But yeah, I think this card is okay. I think it will be played in pirate decks and maybe in other decks as well that want to steal the weapon from Galakron. I think it's quite a good weapon removal tool. Platebreaker, 5-mana 5/5 Battlecry, destroy your opponent's armor. I actually said recently that I wish Blizzard would print a card which just said destroy your opponent's armor. But I didn't think they could do that because it's like part of Warrior's whole identity that they build up all this armor and they're unkillable. But they just straight up printed it. Platebreaker, Battlecry, destroy your opponent's armor. But now that they printed it, I'm not even sure that it's good. Everything else in this set is just so strong that do you really want to play this just for the times where you come up against Control Warrior? It depends. If there's a lot of Control Warriors, sure, put in Platebreaker. It is a 5-mana 5/5, which isn't too bad. But this probably won't see any play, I'll be honest. Nobody's making a deck thinking, yeah, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put in Platebreaker. It's not one of the cards you think of when you're building a deck to do something specific. So it probably won't see play. 5-mana 4/5 Shield of Galakron. Taunt and Battlecry, invoke Galakron. This is a card which you can play. That 4-mana 2/2 Rush garbage, not playable. This is a invoke card that you can play. The stats are not too bad. It's like 1 mana more than what you would want. A 4-mana 4/5 with Taunt is okay. 5-mana 4/5 with Taunt is playable because you're getting this invoke upside. 5-mana 3/3 Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, summon 2 random Murlocs, and this is a Murloc. Why? Why are they doing this? I don't understand. In which world do you want to summon a board of Murlocs where you're holding a dragon in your hand? Well, Nightmare Amalgam is a dragon technically. What was the other one? Give a dragon in your hand +2/+2. So you can give Nightmare Amalgam +2/+2. Maybe. Besides Nightmare Amalgam, I don't really see a world where you want to actually use a real dragon. 5-mana 6/5 Tentacled Menace. Each player draws a card, swap their costs. You want to play this in a deck with very high cost cards, for example, Dual Paladin. But even Dual Paladin, you're playing low cost spells because you have Prismatic Lens. So you might swap your low cost spell with their high cost minion. I don't think this card makes sense. I think it's way too inconsistent. Very hard to find a deck to play it. Maybe like Ramp Druid. Probably not. Camouflage Dirigible. Battlecry, it's a mech. Battlecry give your other mech stealth until your next turn. Oh, it's only giving mech stealth. I was thinking about maybe giving Dread Raven stealth somehow, but this is only mechs. Do you want to play this in a mech deck? Probably not, because the stat line is okay. If it's an aggressive mech deck and you want to keep your mechs alive, they can only kill it through board clears like Flame Strikes. If they're stealth, they can't be targeted. So maybe you try this in a mech deck, but I'm not sure. Not sure. 6 mana 5/3 evasive worm, so it's got this evasive, so it says can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. I'm guessing they're going to make that a keyword in the future. 6 mana 5/3 with Divine Shield and Rush. So it's 6 mana for a 5/3 on the board, and you get to deal 5 damage for free. It's pretty good, and it's a dragon. 6 mana dragon, it's not too bad. Maybe this will find a home in some dragon decks. It's okay. Maybe a 3-star card or something. 6 mana 4/5 mech with Rush and Wind Fury. It is a mech, so you can magnetize it and get more benefit from the Wind Fury. Maybe put this in a mech deck with lots of magnetics. I think it's okay. 6 mana 6/6 Kronk's Dragonhoof. One of the best cards in the expansion, this guy. Battlecry, draw Galakrond. Just straight up get him out of your deck so you can play him next turn. Perfectly lines up. He's 6 mana, Galakrond is 7 mana. Really good. If you're already Galakrond, so he will do nothing if you have Galakrond in your hand, but if he's in your deck or if you are Galakrond, then he's very good. Draw Galakrond if he's in your deck. If you are already Galakrond, unleash a devastation. These are the devastations. So basically, you play him and you just get to choose one of these 4. It's not random. You get to choose which one you want. Annihilation. Deal 5 damage to all other minions, including your own. But if you're on if it's a board where your opponent has a big board and you got nothing, annihilate those motherfuckers. Decimation. Deal 5 damage to the enemy hero. Restore 5 health to your hero. It could find lethal. It can save you. Very good. Domination. Give your other minions +2/+2. I imagine this probably won't be chosen too much, but if you have a board, they have a board, you can buff your guys and make much better trades. If you have a board and they have a board, you choose this. If they have a board and you don't, and you just kill everything. If you don't have a board and they don't have a board, you get an 8/8 dragon with taunt. One of these options will be good. Always Krunks is good unless you have Galakrond in your hand. What a fantastic minion. Craft this guy straight away. Utgard Grapple Sniper. 6 mana 5/5 Battlecry. Both players draw a card. If it's a dragon, summon it. Do you play this in a dragon deck? Maybe. Maybe in like a Ramp Druid with big dragons that you want on the board which don't have battle cries. But if you're up against another dragon deck, you could get pretty screwed. They could get a free dragon and you don't. So I think this guy's too risky to play in a dragon deck. 7 mana 7/7 Evasive Draconid. He's evasive as well. He's got this can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. And he's taunt. Probably wouldn't put this in a dragon deck, but it just existing in the game. Often you'll discover a dragon and this is the one you want, or you'll get a free dragon somehow and you'll be pretty happy with this. It's a big, very hard to kill dragon, which you probably don't want to spend 7 mana on. You probably don't want to put it in your deck, but sometimes you will discover it, get it in some other way, and you'll be quite happy to get it. 7 mana 1/7 Shumar. At the end of your turn, fill your board with 1/1 tentacles. I don't understand this card. This one attack is really bugging me. This card is garbage in my opinion. Who wants to fill their board with 1/1 tentacles? For 7 mana. This guy should be like 5 max. Twin Tyrant, 8 mana, 4/10 Dragon, Battlecry, deal 4 damage to 2 random enemy minions. I think with 8 mana you want to be doing something better than just dealing 4 damage to 2 random enemy minions, so this guy probably won't see play, but again, like the Evasive Draconid, sometimes you'll discover a dragon and this is just a guy you need and you pick him and you're happy, but you probably don't want to put this in a deck. It's too specific to one situation where your enemy has 2 minions with 4 health and you want to kill both of them. So sometimes you'll discover it in the right situation, but I don't think this is worth putting in a deck. The cards you put in a deck you want for all cases, right? So this is probably too specific situation to put in a dragon deck. Okay, 9 mana 8/8 Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. Battlecry, if your deck has no duplicates, add 2 random dragons to your hand and they cost 0 mana. So it's cool that they're adding more cards, more Highlander cards. So you put this in a deck like Zephyrus Mage or something. Maybe there's like a Zephyrus Reno Dragon Mage and you put in this one. It's also just a very strong late game card because it's not drawing cards and it's giving you a huge board. Like 9, you get an 8/8 and 2 random dragons for free. And plus you can hold on to them if you want and play them the following turns. Very, very, very strong card. Probably one of the first cards I'll craft as well. If you're playing a dragon deck, you want Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a Highlander deck. Like we've seen Elise see play just because you draw so many cards and you get to the late game and you've run out of duplicates in your deck and you can play Elise. So I think this will be seen in all Highlander decks and most dragon decks. And then we've got Sathravar. Sathravar we've had for, I don't know now. I think when the other wild cards came back, maybe? I can't remember when we got him, but I haven't really seen him much. I've seen him be played with like Shivala Paladin. Maybe there'll be some cards that you want to, like for example this Mana Giant in Mage. You can play it for 0 and play Sathravar and get another 0 Mana Giant into your hand and play it again. Like there are some cool things you can do with him. I think it's just really good with minions where it's a big minion and you can reduce it down to 0 because you get another copy, you can play that copy from your hand and you get 3 copies of them. That's why he's so good with Shivala. But yeah, that's all of the cards reviewed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my reviews. Let me know in the comment sections of these videos what you thought about them. I will see you on Tuesday when I open all of my packs. I have, let me just go back here. I have over 10,000 gold now. Basically, haven't spent any gold since the previous expansion, 4 months, and I've collected over 10,000, so I'll be opening probably around 108, 110 packs on Tuesday. And yeah, can't wait to play this expansion. Such high power level across the board. I think all classes are playable. I don't know which class will come out on top because everything just seems so strong compared to the current meta. Can't wait to make some decks, and stay tuned for some very fun Hearthstone deck videos coming soon.
Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back?